If I were CIG, this is how I would test all of these huge upcoming changes. 07 Star Citizens, 320 brings along with it a massive set of updates to the Arena Commander module, and yet all I've seen over social media and other YouTube videos is people complaining about how 320 isn't going to be good enough. Because people who play Star Citizen never complain and blow things out of proportion, especially not me. So I want to go through all of the changes we're going to be seeing for Arena Commander in 320 and why they are way more important for everyone than you might think. Let's begin with what is sometimes a dirty word in Star Citizen, racing. Since the first time we had Arena Commander, racing has been a super integral part of the game. In the past year, we've seen a bunch of racing updates in the PU, while Arena Commander has been untouched. This isn't great, as even though the racetracks and missions in the PU have been awesome, if you crash, it's a 5 to 10 minute trek back to the racetrack. In addition, this system isn't amazing for multiple races, meaning the ideal way to race multiplayer requires additional people to time you, and there's no UI for multiplayer racing in the PU. Arena Commander has this, but pre-320, all we have is 3 racetracks with no atmosphere that haven't been updated for years. But the 320 update changes things completely. First off, the new lobby system should allow for a significantly better multiplayer experience, racing against your friends in a quick and easy fashion. Second, we have new racetracks taken directly from the awesome tracks we've been getting in the PU. These tracks have been made with input from the racing community, and allow us to be able to practice these races and respawn within a couple of seconds instead of 5 to 10 minutes. Lastly, the old tracks have been updated with both atmospheric flight and updated race lines to be more in line with what we have come to experience as enjoyable racing in the PU. I talk about racing first for these 320 changes, as I think it's probably the most drastic player-facing part of the update. But in general, I think there's something much more important that's happening in 320 that can possibly change the game overall, or at least the game development. Arena Commander is an underutilized tool. Ship flying is the biggest part of Star Citizen at its core, and Arena Commander gives us the ability to test these ships out in a zero-risk system, meaning it's the best place to test weapons, ship dynamics, UI, and new modules. However, it's not something that gets used that much. The testing is practically non-existent. Well, in 320, there's going to be a thing called experimental mode, and I want to speculate a bit here and mention what this may involve. First hearing of this mode reminds me of Tavern Brawl in Hearthstone, where they can completely change how the game works, try out new mechanics, new cards, and everything in between in an environment that doesn't break their ranked systems. I have a feeling we will see exactly that in experimental mode. Imagine CIG are looking at releasing something like a capital ship, the Idris. This ship is going to be incredibly hard to balance and test. However, imagine if for 1 week there was an experimental mode where you could do Idris versus Idris battles. This would allow CIG to see how we use the weapons, how we strategize using these vehicles without completely destroying the PU. And then the following week, we get an experimental mode that tests out AI blades by giving hammerheads AI to shoot enemies. In 2021, we had huge changes to the flight model, getting missile operator mode, capacitors, and the massive ballistic weapon changes. Because all of this was getting tested in the PTU, we had one of the longest PTU cycles we had experienced in a very long time, until 318. Things like this could be fast-tracked using this system, as we don't have to wait as long to be able to test them. The big thing here is we can get in hundreds upon hundreds of battle simulations in a matter of hours, instead of a matter of days. So how does that affect us soon? Master modes. At CitizenCon last year, we were told about master modes, another new update to the flight model, which promises to slow combat down and remove the dreaded jousting that we've been seeing forever. The new Arena Commander update, and especially the experimental modes, seems like a really good way to test this. By giving us the ability to test master modes in different ships, in different locations, in different environments, you can much faster balance these. Now, once again, all of that stuff is speculation, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility or even probability. If I were CIG, this is how I would test all of these huge upcoming changes. It also allows them to test in the live environment instead of the PTU environment, which, if any of you have played 318 recently, seems to be an issue. People aren't really willing to download the PTU a lot of the time, but if they had an opportunity to test all of these things in the live environment, we could probably get significantly more people testing these individual things. There's also, from a sale perspective, experimental modes can also be really, really good. If you want to sell more hammerheads, A2s, retaliators, you just let people use them in the experimental modes. They get to use them for a week, get an experience that they don't normally get to see in the PU, and then the next sale comes up, you're probably going to ship a couple more units. The updates do not stop with experimental mode, however. With the addition of the Jericho Station, SPK, and New Horizon dogfighting maps, we now have an opportunity to play with minimal obstacles, allowing PvP and PvE pilots alike to test their skills and favorite ships without accidentally slamming into some asteroids. And lastly, there's also an update where we are now combining Star Marine with Arena Commander. There's implications here for multi-stage or ground and ship combined arms combat, but I'll leave that for this week's ISC, where they will be letting us know this stuff. I do, however, quickly want to mention that they've said several times now there is something to do with the Nova Tonks as part of this update, which I'm personally hoping for, like a big battle royale tank battle. I fully understand why people aren't very excited for this update, as it's not very player PU focused. But the Star Citizen Word of the Year implications are absolutely huge for this 320 update. That's it for the video though. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I release a video. And if you're watching this video right after it was released or within the next day or two, come check me out over at twitch.tv/Croncierge. We're going to be doing Pirate Swarm to make sure everyone can get their badges before the new Arena Commander update comes out. So feel free to join. Let's get as many people those badges as possible. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you later. We're gonna have a bomb in a second. Okay, let's get ready. We can see the facility coming up now. I see it. Bomb away. Bomb away. Come on! There it goes!
He nailed it! That was good aim. There's surely